This is your Barbados Today Morning News Update, today Thursday, November 5. We get started with news of two major government projects in the pipeline. First, the Geriatric Hospital will move to Waterford Bottom St. Michael in the vicinity of the Botanical Gardens. Word of this from Prime Minister Mia Mottley on Wednesday, as she expressed fresh concerns about the island's aging population and the disappointing treatment of the elderly. She said it was costing the government about $25,000 per month to keep abandoned elderly individuals at the state-run Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and it cost just over $5,000 to care for each of the 200 patients at the Geriatric Hospital.
We need to have a purpose-built facility that allows us to treat to the most acute needs of those who are elderly and who do not have the support systems or the finances in order to be able to support themselves. And we will do that, we pray and hope, at Waterford, within the bosom of, or the environs of the Botanical Gardens, so that we will try to give them a similar set of breeze and beauty as you are trying to do here at the estates in St. George.
The announcement came while Mottley toured the estates at St. George on Wednesday. Sagicor has doubled the size of the multi-million-dollar Senior Citizens Retirement Community Project. Edward Clark, Director of Strategic Projects at Sagicor Life Inc., gave this update.
The estates at St. George now sits on approximately 32 acres, overlooking this beautiful St. George Valley, and represents an investment of just over 200 million Barbados dollars. This investment includes the construction of 10 residential buildings, approximately 208 units at this time, an assisted living building, the clubhouse, the commercial center, and the back-of-house administration complex. That support complex will be the center of the community's technical infrastructure and features an environmentally friendly facility for the treatment and reuse of wastewater.
Prime Minister Mottley endorsed the massive project as a sign of confidence in the government. She urged other private sector interests to follow suit, saying they would receive government's full support.
The government has also made it clear that we will partner with the private sector in critical areas where public-private partnerships can deliver for the benefit of the people of this nation goods and services that hitherto would not otherwise be available or must depend on the fiscal space available to the government. Philosophically, that is an important statement to make, especially in the provision of healthcare and healthcare services.
Government is pushing ahead with plans to construct a new sewage plant on the island's south coast. The assurance was given on Wednesday by Minister of Transport, Works and Water Resources Ian Gooden-Edgell, who revealed that a plot of land next to the current South Coast treatment plant in Harmony Hall, Christchurch, has already been identified as a site for the new plant. Speaking to members of the media at the South Coast plant following a tour to the Bridgetown sewage plant by officials of the Barbados Water Authority, Gooden-Edgell revealed that government was also looking to upgrade the current treatment plant.
We have commenced, and certainly we are at an advanced discussion with a view of upgrading the South Coast treatment plant here. We are also at an advanced stage in discussions with a proposal to build a new sewage treatment plant. I can't disclose the financial details because, like I said, we are at an advanced stage.
Technical advisor to the BWA, Dr. John Mwanza, pointed out that the present South Coast treatment plant was simply not good enough and needed to be upgraded.
This plant here is not treating the sewage to the same level as you would have seen at Bridgetown. This is basically a screening plant. It removes the cloth, the 2x4s, the pear bottles, and other fine materials. So what you have is a 3-stage screening process. You have a core screen that will remove the bigger items. Then you have a medium screen that will remove the second set, and a finer screen that removes the finer materials before the effluent goes into the effluent chamber and gets pumped out to the outfall. When we upgrade it, we'll be able to provide a higher level of treatment.
There's regional and international news after this short break. Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional developments, Bahamian Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis is forecasting a good Christmas if COVID-19 cases continue to decline. Some Bahamian islands remain under tight lockdown measures in a bid to combat the country's second deadly wave of the virus. Matthew Moxley of Eyewitness News in the Bahamas tells us more.
Everybody remain compliant and cooperative in terms of the mitigation processes or protocols that are put in place. If we were to do that, then the numbers will continue to come down, and maybe we can have a good Christmas moving forward.
Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis foreseeing the easing of restrictions weeks ahead of the holiday season should cases continue to dwindle. His sentiments come on the heels of Health Minister Raymond Wells touting the success in the government's fight against COVID-19, citing falling case numbers and lower positivity rates. Dr. Minnis says he expects a briefing from health officials soon on the latest health statistics.
The Ministry of Health, they are reviewing data today. I would speak to them this evening, if not by tomorrow. And I will address the nation sometime between now and Sunday as to the way forward.
Over the last 7 months, the Prime Minister has ordered the closure of beaches and parks amid a spike in COVID-19 cases in the country.
On the international scene, while President Donald Trump wants the U.S. Supreme Court to weigh in on a presidential race that is still too close to call, legal experts say the court may not be the final arbiter in the election. More in this report from Reuters Television.
So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court.
President Donald Trump, in the early hours of Wednesday morning, vowed to bring a case before the U.S. Supreme Court to weigh in on an election that is still too close to call, launching an extraordinary and unsubstantiated attack on the U.S. voting process.
This is a major fraud in our nation.
But legal experts say it's unlikely the top court will be the final arbiter in the 2020 presidential election. Reuters legal correspondent Jan Wolf.
There's this term that lawyers use called the margin of litigation in election law, this idea that the race has to be very close for a court to be able to tip it. And it's not clear at this point that we have that. In Bush versus Gore, it all came down to Florida, which was super, super close. Biden might win enough states that there's no way for Trump to litigate his way to victory.
We want all voting to stop.
For the Supreme Court to become involved in this election, there has to be some sort of serious legal argument for it to entertain. Let's stop vote counting early is not a serious argument. The Trump campaign has gotten the attention of the Supreme Court with an argument that in Pennsylvania, ballots that arrive after November 3rd should not be counted. For now, Pennsylvania is sticking with its plan to count those ballots, but 4 justices signal interest in potentially revisiting that later.
The Trump campaign on Wednesday said it had also filed a lawsuit seeking to stop the vote count in Michigan, a state where Democrat Joe Biden held a narrow lead. And Wolf says even more lawsuits could come.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.